Wow. Welcome to Floating Nifty Podcast. I am Showen in Seattle.
And I'm Noah in Taiwan.
Wow.
This is crazy. This is like our first remote recording.
Yes, and we went through a lot of work to figure out how to even make it happen from my part. As I mentioned before, my technology knowledge is from the dinosaur era. So,
Yeah, you always say that.
so we are not sure if this will make it or if it will be even any good. And so everybody just bear with us. We'll see how it goes.
We'll give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah. So long distance tea drinking is also pretty interesting, I guess, So maybe before we start, Noah, how is your quarantine?
Yeah, so I'm on like day 14. I've been in a hotel room by myself for about 14 days now. And it's weird. It's like really weird.
Yeah, I heard that you cannot...
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
You cannot even walk out of the room, right?
Yeah, you definitely heard that because I told you that. Yeah, I can't walk out of the room at all. I can't leave the room. I have food sent up to me. They didn't want to give me a towel, so because they don't want to worry about taking anything out of my room. So nothing can leave my room at all.
Wow.
So they didn't give me a towel. They gave me disposable towels. Yeah.
And it's like a tissue paper, right?
Yeah, it's like tissue paper, basically. It's like an upgraded version of paper towels that you use in your kitchen.
Yeah. But later, Sunny sent you a towel.
It's not that bad. Yeah, which is great. Yeah, Sunny's been really helpful. Our friend Mr. Huang has been really helpful. He sent me milk for my milk tea in the morning. So yeah, it's really great to have lots of wonderful people. But it's strange. I've been meditating a lot, which has kind of helped me stay grounded. And I try to do stretches and a little bit of exercise to not go too crazy. And I drink a lot of tea. But I think no matter what, being by myself in a room for this long without being able to leave the door, is strange. And I've been drinking a lot of charcoal dongding, so I wanted to drink charcoal dongding today.
All right, let's do it. I think I drank this one. We actually have the same tea. I drank this one a few times, and let's see how today unfolds. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna heat up the water, okay? So I'm gonna step aside for just a few seconds.
Okay, cool. So when I first got to Taiwan, on the plane I decided to fast. I didn't eat anything so I could get used to the time zone really quickly. I read online that was a thing that people do, and it worked. It actually worked really well. So I got used to the time zone like within one day.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. But the effect was that since I didn't eat anything, my stomach was really sensitive when I got here. So I had some dumplings the first day that I got here in the morning, and then I wasn't used to it, so I changed my meal to be vegetarian. But the Chinese word for, as the Chinese word for vegetarian and vegan is egg and milk vegetarian versus completely vegetarian, and I just chose the completely vegetarian because I just heard it and it sounded good. So I've been eating vegan for the last 15 days, and which is not bad. I actually like to eat vegetarian at least. But the strange thing is that, since the food has actually been pretty bland, in Asia, usually vegetarian means Buddhist. And Buddhist eating, they usually don't eat salt, garlic and onion either, as well as meat. So everything's been fairly bland. And my tea has been really good feeling and really good texture, but the fragrance has been kind of not even like locked up, just kind of like not really there.
Just like your food.
Yeah, exactly. So just kind of like bland smelling. And like there's no smell at the bottom of the cup. The top of the liquid, there's a little bit, but not very much. And last night I ordered Uber Eats because I'm going to be out in a couple of days. I thought I'm just going to try to get used to eating a little bit of meat again. Yeah. I ordered Hainan chicken rice, Singaporean dish that's just poached chicken and they dip it in sauce.
Sounds really
It's really
good.
flavorful.
Yeah.
It was really good. And what was really weird is that I ate that last night, and then this morning when I brewed tea before I'm talking to you now, I already brewed this tea one time,
Uh-huh.
and the fragrance was back. So
That's
just kind of a
so,
weird thing.
yeah, it's so bizarre. How about right now? I just did my first infusion and I'm like smelling the surface of the tea broth, and it's gentle, and there is a mild hint of the roasting. It's actually really soft and pleasant.
Yeah, I mean it feels a lot like I did this morning, like the softness of the tea, the the throat sensation, the body feeling is showing up, but also there's a fragrance there which wasn't there in the beginning for a
Wow.
long time. So like that fragrance of like charcoal was really light. Um, the fruit was almost not there at all. But now I smell fruit really clearly,
But it
and then
and
that kind of like
sorry,
go ahead.
it also tastes pretty fruity, huh? For
Yeah, the
that
taste is fruity too.
that typical dongding kind of young fruit, kind of a taste is in the broth actually.
And what was weird for the past 2 weeks, it hasn't been there when I've been brewing it.
Oh
It's been there
wow.
like a little bit, like a little tiny bit, but more of like a juicy feeling rather than the actual taste or flavor of fruit. And there's that general planty kind of feeling because it's tea, but kind of the especially the sweetness of the fragrance wasn't showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I as I mentioned before, I actually tried this specific charcoal roasted dongding about 3 times prior to today that we recorded this podcast, and I think it was pretty consistent that the first infusion was actually for a charcoal dongding. It was really soft and delicate, and in the beginning I was like, what? Uh-oh, that's a really it was kind of a quiet charcoal dongding, not like that dramatic dongding that I know. But in the past 3 times, the second infusion and third infusion open up really big. So let's see if today that happens for me.
So I just smelled the bottom of my cup, and it's also the fragrance is still there too,
Oh, good, good.
which is so
I forgot
weird.
to
I always
smell.
thought like if I I always thought like if I eat really bland food for a long time, I never do it, but I always thought if I did, then the tea would be really big and fragrant because there's like less to contrast it with, if that makes sense.
But it's I think what I'm seeing is bland food shouldn't be boring. And what you were eating was a little bit on the boring side, and so you you told me you didn't have good appetite. You just didn't feel like eating too much because the food is, and you were not moving much either.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and I think it's really good to eat simple, and the
Yeah.
cooking videos that I was watching, they say simple food should taste really good. And I think that's what you were imagining, like really simple food, and then it will make you very sensitive to taste a lot of flavors. However, I think your mood was really, what is that, draw down, because you are locking inside of a room by yourself. You were eating very, boring food. So nothing is in a way is bright, right? So
Yeah.
I think it shows in your tea, and but you were doing meditation, so you are actually probably pretty grounded, and yet there's not other lively energy to support your tea. That's what I'm seeing, Yeah.
It is.
So
It's just strange, right? It just really.
yeah.
It's a strange observation. I wasn't expecting it.
But of course, I'm not promoting that. Oh, then we should eat like big flavor and big whatever food, right? Because that will actually, yeah, it will impact our taste capacity, I think. Yeah. Okay, second infusion, my tea broth look much darker. I didn't intentionally try to brew it longer time. I think this tea, it just works that way. The first infusion it's very soft and gentle for a charcoal roast dongding, and the second one, even the surface smell become much stronger. The line become much thicker as well, and the charcoal smell is more prominent.
So I've been brewing this tea so many times that I just brew the first infusion really long so I don't have that same experience.
Oh, yeah. I think one time, maybe like the third time, I actually brew it longer, and I did open the first infusion much bigger.
Yeah.
But even like the contrast of like if I don't intentionally brew first infusion long, and the second infusion just by contrast is actually really big. The broth is big. It's big opening. It is quite heavy for a dongding, which is great. The throat sensation is very clear. There's a heat style of warmth inside of my body, and afterwards the aftertaste is fruity. It salivates. Like a lot of things I want to check, and it's like check, and check. Yeah. Also, I think it's actually really fun to do it this way, and it's kind of awkward to do a long distance tea drinking, because I think I mentioned to you before when I tasted this tea, I taste metal, but it's a very different kind of a metal feeling from Tie Guan Yin. And
it has that, yeah. I taste that
and
too
normally
right
I
now.
don't taste metal in a dongding tea, but this one I do, and I still do today on the second infusion. First infusion I didn't taste the metal, but the second infusion there's a type of metal taste in there, so that's very interesting to me. Yeah.
I'm finding that I taste it towards the back of my mouth, but not in my throat so much.
Yeah. For me, there's dryness. Yeah, the back of the tongue is or mouth, like towards the very close to the throat. It's there's that dryness in there. Yeah.
And then the metal is like a taste to you,
Yeah, it's like
not a feeling.
yeah, it's and it's a metal feeling on the top of a tongue. Yeah, of my tongue, not a tongue. Yeah. Overall, I like this tea though. Like it has a really wonderful warm feeling, and I would say compared to our other charcoal roast dongding, is a little bit more on the, what did I say it before? Reserve.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's more on the reserve side, even though the
Okay.
the second infusion, the broth really opens up, and it's actually really thick and heavy, but the physical feeling and the scent is actually more on the reserve side, and it's actually also really nice to have the experience, because in the past, like dongding could be, it's like dongding tea is like loaded of dramas. It's not a lively play. It's a very dramatic kind of a tea. Yeah, and this one is like, I think the dramatic part is in the mouth, and then the scent and the body is like, it's like if it's still a drama, it's like really intense. It's like really intense inward. Like that person is introverted. But it doesn't mean that person has no emotions or feelings. It's just that person doesn't express it very often in public.
Maybe more contemplative.
Yeah. I actually quite like the feeling of this tea. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. I've been drinking it so many times now.
Do you drink it every day?
Yeah, so I'm very used to it.
Yeah. Cool.
And I I don't really think of it so much as a reserved personality. But I think I know what you're saying. That, like the word that I just said, contemplative. That's what comes to mind when I think about it. It feels more internal.
Yes.
Because a lot of times with dongding, with a strong charcoal dongding, or actually with traditional dongding that we get too, it's like it has a strong sense of caffeine. Actually, it has a strong caffeine feeling, and it also just goes into the body with like a really bold sensation of just like just loaded in, like bam, it's just right. As soon as you swallow the broth, it's just right in there.
Yes.
And then this one, it has that sensation too of being thick. It doesn't feel like delicate so much, but it
No.
does have a sense. It does have a sense of quiet
Yes. Yes.
more than the other dongdings that we've got.
Yeah.
And the image that keeps coming to me, and I actually already wrote the description for this tea because I have time right now. In the description that I wrote, I said that I've drank it so many times, I'm starting to feel more images and things when I drink it than flavors or textures anymore.
Yeah.
It's like just being so close to something.
Yeah.
You know, you see details more than you see the entire thing. What I'm noticing is like an image of almost like a low rolling hill covered in deep green vegetation.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of times with teas, you see a more dramatic, tall, craggy mountain, or there's the feeling of rock or stone is in there a little bit more. This one I feel more smooth, connected hills.
Excellent. I think
Yeah.
that's really pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think tea is just so interesting. Sometimes you see a space. Sometimes you see actually people. Sometimes you see a personality. Sometimes it's just a feeling. It's just so interesting what the tea want to present. But I think we both agree that this tea is not a thin, kind of lively kind of a tea for dongding, and yet the feeling is it's not like those dramatic ones like, oh yeah, the caffeine, I'm feeling it in my body and there's something big about it. This one is actually really well executed and feels really comfortable in the body.
Feels comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
It feels comfortable and a little bit more relaxed maybe.
Yeah, not a loaded with drama kind of a dongding. Which I think is good because when we launch this tea, it will be summertime in a lot of places. And then with a tea like this,
The Northern Hemisphere.
yeah, it's probably a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Yeah.
step aside and do the third infusion, okay?
Cool. Sounds good.
All right, so I just pour out the third infusion and the tea broth, like the second infusion, on the darker orange side. Really rich color, beautiful color. And let's see, the surface smell. Yeah, charcoal, not like super big, like toasty, but the charcoal presence is there. Yeah, mixed with that typical dongding fruit smell in there.
What I find very beautiful about the way that he roasts tea is that, if you notice with other roasted oolongs, there's a feeling of roastedness, of toastedness, like of that browned, like when a same thing if you brown vegetables, there's like that taste of the thing has been browned. And at least with this tea, and with many others, but with this one in particular, it's the charcoal taste is more of the scent of freshly burning charcoal, rather than the taste of something that's been burned or browned.
Yeah, I
So,
actually,
you know what I mean?
yeah, I actually got what you are talking about. For me, his roast, it's never just on the surface. It's like
It's not just about the flavor.
Yeah, it's so integrated. It's like it's like really hard to separate it from the tea taste, the tea smell. It's like inside of the tea. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's like a way of changing the tea. It's like a way of reorganizing the tea. Mm-hmm. But the imprint that it leaves itself, in the flavor is compared to other roasted teas is relatively small. Mm-hmm. Is what I'm saying. But the where it does show up is that kind of that scent of fresh burning charcoal.
But
I think is really cool.
not smoky, right?
Not smoky. No,
Not
no, no, no. Just
smoky.
like not
Yeah.
smoky.
Yeah. Just like
And not like
yeah.
if you've ever burned like charcoal briquettes. Mm-hmm. Those briquettes. It's not that kind of smell. It's like it's a lot more similar to when you burn like a campfire and then it burns all the way down to just the embers.
Yeah.
And then there's no smoke at all left coming off of it. It's just the heat coming off of it.
Yeah.
And then there's a slight scent of not even burning wood. It's like the scent of the wood coming out in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you are saying. It's just for me, his rose is so beautiful and it's not separated. He teacher manager way to get it all the way in there, and yet it's not fixed. And that's what is amazing about his tea is his rose is never fixed. Just like, oh, this tea is gonna stay this way. It's like I always see that his rose is like twining, moving lines combining with the tea, and then it's moving, and it's sometimes it can unfold in a different way, because if it's moving and it's intertwined with the tea, then it can move a different direction next month or something. And it's like not just we say drinking the same tea every day can be a different experience because of us, because of the tea brewer, because you use different teapots or you use different water. You put one more component with his rose in there, and the changes and the combinations, and then the percentage of changes even got bigger. And that's why I never get bored with drinking his tea. It's just so much to discover. Yeah. And I feel very lucky that we met him in this lifetime, and what is even more exciting about this is you are gonna learn from him.
Yeah.
Wow. Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow. What a 缘分 affinity in this lifetime that we have with him, Yeah. And let's come back to the tea a little bit more. The third infusion the broth stays solid, big, spray big on my tongue towards the back of the mouth, goes towards the throat directly. The movement is there. It's a big tea. And yet the feeling into the body is still really well executed, not a dramatic kind, actually quite really comfortable, really well put together. Yeah, I have a lot of confidence that people are gonna like this tea. But just to let people know, if you drink the first infusion, say, oh, I think this is that kind of life or a charcoal dongding, wait for the second infusion. It's gonna open pretty big. Yeah. I mean, the second and third infusion, the broth just open, the taste open, everything opens up. So big, so good, so rich. As I tell people, I sometimes really dislike technology and social media. I think when we use it in a wrong way, is destroying our health, is destroying our focus, is is dividing people. And yet today we are actually meeting over, what is that, Messenger?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say, when you use technology, it's also really good. It can be a really wonderful tool. If without this, we actually cannot record podcasts in long distance like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
without technology, we wouldn't be having a shop right now, probably, or,
Yeah. Or
right?
ship,
It
yeah,
would,
or ship tea to like Mr. Joe in Wisconsin, or
yeah. Or like, would you even have been able to hire me in the first place if you didn't have online? Probably not, right? So,
True, true. Yeah.
so, yeah, we get great benefit from it as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to use it in the right way. We have to do our best to use it in the right way.
Yeah. And as I mentioned before, this is a kind of a awkward situation to record podcast, and yet at the same time, just so happy that we get to do this.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to communicate over a pot of tea,
Yes,
even if
yes.
we're not in the same place.
Yeah, true.
And it's something that I didn't really understand before. People would say, "Hey, I'm doing a long distance tea session over, whatever, Skype or something."
Mm-hmm.
And it always seemed to me like, "Oh, that's cool, but I don't really understand myself. I never thought I wanted to.
Yeah.
But now that we drink tea together so much,
Yeah.
and that we're not in the same place, we can't do that. Being able to do this is actually really cool.
Really cool, right?
It's actually really
and
cool.
then just
Yeah,
even
yeah.
not even tea, just like to stay connected with another
Yeah.
human. It's like, because in the past year I actually, you know uh I mean, I have you, I have, KK, aka my son. I mean, I'm not totally isolated, but yet at the same time, because of the lockdown, we didn't open for tea tasting. We don't even let people come into the shop, and but once a while, we'll step outside and talk to a customer for a long time. And I just realized, I noticed that when I talk to a customer, I just wouldn't stop talking. When I come to do a curbside pickup or curbside buying, and I just la, and I just keep talking to the person, and I'll catch myself and say, I talk a lot about tea, right? And it's like, yeah, it's okay. I really enjoy it. Oh, okay, cool. And I just keep going, and and I just noticed, like even just that kind of connection, bring a form of excitement, and bring a form of connection that I think humans wanted and humans needed, Yeah. And so even like,
Totally agree.
yeah, long distance drinking tea, not the same as in the same room, but
But what's
hey,
interesting about it to me is in a tea session, I mean, just drinking tea with another person, there's like a basic structure that it always follows. Almost always. It's like it starts off, for me at least, it always starts off a little bit awkward because we haven't had tea yet, and then the tea kind of gets everyone more socially lubricated, and then the conversation really starts to flow.
yeah,
And it's actually something that's possible over long distance, which I didn't really make the connection that would be possible over long distance. I mean, it makes sense because both people are drinking tea, and not only are they both drinking tea, they're drinking the same tea, so it does make sense. But it's a new experience for me, and I actually like it more than I was expecting to.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually just drank the fourth infusion, and
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure it's because right now it's actually 6 p.m. at Seattle time, and I normally I don't try to drink any Kung Fu style tea past 5 p.m. and this
Yeah.
fourth infusion, I am actually sensing the caffeine that you are talking about with the Dongding tea. I was like, dang, this is pretty strong right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe I'm also, like it's like dinner time, I'm hungry. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was writing about it. I was writing this tea yesterday, and among other things, I remember feeling like it is, in a sense, it's gentle, but it's also quite powerful.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, it's Dongding. It's grown in Dongding, so
Yeah.
those teas have a certain amount of certain amount of power.
Yeah. So right now I'm totally
Yeah,
feeling the caffeine power.
yeah,
Hopefully I can sleep tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's 9 a.m. and I usually don't drink Gong Fu cha until 11 in Seattle, and I've already had two. This is my second one of Dongding.
So
Yeah,
are you feeling it?
yeah, I'm feeling it. I've actually been drinking so much tea in quarantine that it's not that intense for me right now, to be completely honest. But
Sure.
it's different than my usual habit. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sweating. My palms are sweating.
So maybe
Yeah,
there is some power.
yeah.
Yeah. Cool. It's so great to be able to record a podcast this way. And I think with more time, just like our first few YouTube videos and first few podcasts, feel kind of awkward and not natural. But I think with time, we can manage to do this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll
Yeah.
definitely figure it out.
Yeah.
We have a lot of time to figure it out anyway. We have a lot of time to figure
Yeah.
it out.
Because,
I
yeah.
think the oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean we don't want to stop the program, Just it's a way that it's one of the ways that people out there feel like they are connected to us, and it means a lot to us. So we would like to continue to produce our podcast for people.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity for me to kind of go over some stuff with you that I've been experiencing over here.
Yeah,
You know,
kind of
so
go
in
over
a selfish
it
way,
and
it's not just for other people. It's actually really helpful for me too. You know?
excellent. So Noah is gonna come out of a quarantine pretty soon, and that's
Yeah,
very
I'll be out in a couple of days. I'll be
Yeah.
out actually tomorrow.
yeah.
Today is you're recording. It's Thursday, right? Where you are?
It's
It's
my Thursday here in
Thursday
Seattle.
evening, and
Yeah.
it's for me. It's Friday morning, so I have an entire day, and then tomorrow, Saturday morning, I'm gonna be ready to. I can go. I still have to spend like 7 days being more careful,
Yeah.
and I can't like hang out with people really. But at least I can be out of the hotel, which is awesome.
Yeah. And go
Yeah.
eat some a little bit more spiced
More-
and then flavorful food.
Yeah,
Not
I
just
realize how much I like garlic.
garlic, ginger, onion, green onion, like
Yeah.
those kind of
Yeah.
spices. They are wonderful. Yeah.
And also hot food.
Yeah.
That's been pretty brutal. It's never hot.
Yeah. But anyway, so Noah is gonna finish his quarantine, right? You will quarantine, and
Yeah.
then you are
Yeah.
gonna gear up and buy and start to go out and taste teas.
Yeah, I have like a week. I have like if everything goes well, I'll have about a week and a half to buy an entirely new stock of
Yeah.
floating leaves oolongs.
Yeah.
So wish me luck. That's gonna be
not-
pretty crazy.
I would not say entire, but the first they say first 10 to 15 teas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so right now, currently, our plan is to open the Taiwan shipping, floating leaf tea Taiwan shipping, on early May. I'm not going to say which day, okay?
Yeah. Wait on the day because we're not really sure what the tea picking situation is yet.
Yeah, this year it seems the season is a little bit later than usual. I think the temperature is lower, right, than usual.
I believe so. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't lived here hardly at all, but it sounds like the temperature is lower. Also, there wasn't a lot of rain.
Yeah, there was not a lot of rain, so there are actually.
And now it's starting to warm up a little bit, and there was a
Yeah.
little bit of rain last week. So hopefully,
Excellent.
it sounds like they're picking in Pinglin for
Yeah.
Baozhong.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're picking in parts of Shanlinxi, and probably that means they're picking in Alishan as well.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to anyone from Dongding yet. It sounds like they're not picking in the higher elevations yet. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but the regular Dongding should be picking as well. I mean, Dongding
Yeah,
is not the plateau itself is not super high elevation.
Not super high.
Yeah, and it's more towards
And further south.
Yeah, middle towards south side of Taiwan. So it will be, generally speaking, I mean, not always true. It will be warmer than Pinning Baozhong actually. Yeah, so maybe more ready to have the action of tea processing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So after you go out, you will be extremely busy. Picking tea, maybe participate picking tea, right? Mr. Huang is gonna take you to see one of his
that'd be
fields.
awesome. In Hsinchu, yeah.
Yeah, and see processing, and you will be tasting a ton of teas for the shop, and you will be also going out to look at teaware.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody stay tuned for the other side of the Pacific Ocean. There's a lot of activities over there for Noah and Sunny to put our shipping office together and up running. And while in the Seattle side, Miss Tai is still fulfilling orders. Business hours change a little bit because of I'm here alone and I have to take care of my son. But it's still running, and just stay tuned. There will be a floatinglifty.us site coming up pretty soon, and I will be working towards some possible schedules to have private tea tasting back up running again. Yeah, that's pretty exciting and a little bit scare for myself because I seriously haven't tasted tea with people for for quite a long time, and so to offer this again, I think emotionally it's a little bit, but I think it will be no problem. I'll be like talking about tea and talking about tea. Yeah. So everybody stay tuned. There will be a lot of activities on both sides. Yeah. Right, Noah?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Cool. So I think that's it for today.
Sounds good.
The tea feels great. And so great to be able to record a podcast in Seattle and Taiwan at the same time. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. Yeah. And I can't wait to see and taste more teas with you of what you are gonna pick, because you guys are gonna send me a lot of teas, right? And so we can drink it together. Yeah. So that's very exciting. Yeah.
So we'll have another session probably in another week if we can find time. If I'm up in the mountains, then I won't have time, but definitely in 2 weeks once we get some teas chosen.
Yeah.
Then we'll have another podcast.
Yeah. But we can still record some, Yeah.
Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah. Cool. So, yay. So, yeah, it's even weird to close this, huh? In two different
it sounds good. I think that's good.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay.
We'll see you guys either next Monday, and if not next Monday because I'm up in the mountains, then the Monday after that. But we'll see you again soon.
Yes. And then we are hoping to keep this more consistent and back on our schedule again, like once a week. So everybody still stay safe out there, and everybody stay safe in Taiwan too. Yeah. And we'll see you hopefully back on Monday again. Happy tea drinking. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.